This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, a rough night in Perth for E-Gilas Pilipinas. The national team suffers a 43-point beating at the hands of Australia, but despite the lopsided loss, E-Gilas still has a reason to celebrate. A golden start for Team Philippines in Colombia. 15-year-old Alexandra Ann Diaz sweeps 3 goals and smashes 2 world youth records as the country's young weightlifters make their mark on the global stage. E-Gilas Pilipinas stands on top of the world after capturing its first ever eFIBA World Championship. A dominant run, a historic crowd, and a breakthrough for Philippine esports. The search for the country's next Olympic champion goes beyond the Metro. The Philippine Sports Commission expands its grassroots-to-gold program, bringing coaches, facilities, and training closer to young athletes in the provinces. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 6th of July. Now, here's our roundup brought to you by the Philippine Sports Commission, the Philippine Olympic Committee, and the NSD-IAC. E-Gilas Pilipinas is moving on to the second round of the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers despite closing the first round with a 92-49 loss to Australia in Perth. The Boomers took control early using a 14-0 run to pull away from the national team. E-Gilas fought back in the second quarter, holding Australia to just 8 points and cutting the deficit to 14 at halftime. But Australia regained control after the break and never looked back en route to the win. Bryce Cotton led the Boomers with 21 points as Australia completed a perfect 6-0 run in the first round. Dwight Ramos paced Gilas with 9 points, while Kevin Kiambao and Junmar Fajardo added 8 each. Gilas played without Justin Brownlee, who sat out due to multiple leg injuries.
You know, he's a guy that we can go to in tough moments, and but he just wasn't ready to play tonight. He wouldn't have been much of a help the way he was feeling. So we felt we could come out and compete, and but we only competed in stretches, and that's not good enough against a high quality team like this. You know, number 6 team in the world. There's a reason they're that highly ranked, and like I said, they had really superior athletes out there getting at us and getting into our shorts, and made it tough for us.
The Philippines advances alongside Australia and New Zealand, with Jordan, Syria, and Iran waiting in the next round, as Gilas continues its road to the 2027 FIBA Basketball World Cup. Naomi Osaka pulled off one of the biggest upsets of Wimbledon Sunday after defeating world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka 6-2, 7-6 to reach the quarterfinals for the first time in her career. The 14th-seeded Japanese star finally broke through against Sabalenka after losing their 3 previous meetings this year. Osaka said her game plan was simple. She focused on her strengths, served well, and looked to take control of the rallies from the start. Sabalenka admitted Osaka overpowered her during the match, while Osaka said she wanted to turn the tables after feeling overmatched in their earlier encounters. Osaka will next face 10th-seeded Karolina Muchova as she continues her quest for a first Wimbledon title. Jimmy Alapag's NBA experience is already making an impression inside the NLEX camp. For veteran guard Kevin Alas, the Road Warriors aren't just learning a new system, they're adopting the standards of the world's best basketball league. Here's Zeus Valdez with the details.
Kevin Alas believes the arrival of Jimmy Alapag has given NLEX a fresh identity as the Road Warriors prepare for the PBA Season 50 Governor's Cup. After spending nearly 6 years with the Sacramento Kings organization, Alapag has returned to the PBA, bringing the lessons he learned from coaching some of the NBA biggest stars. For Alas, the partnership is also a reunion with a former teammate, Gilas coach and longtime mentor.
First excitement because we know that Coach Jimmy now has an NBA experience with Sacramento Kings. At the same time, nakasama ko rin sa Gilas before Coach Jimmy. At the same time, rookie year ko sa TN because he was my vet and mentor ng time na yun.
Alas said Alapag has already introduced NBA-style practice habits and training methods, giving the team a different feel during its preparation for the upcoming conference.
So far, so good kasi sa practice namin, I think how they do it in the practices, parang ina-apply niya na sa amin here in the practice. And so far, it's been doing good for us and everyone's been enjoying. And of course, we're looking forward na makita yung results pagdating sa game.
With the return of import Dequan Jones, a core of experienced veterans, and a new coaching philosophy shaped by the NBA, NLEX hope this new chapter can finally lead the franchise to its first PBA championship. After years of coming close, the Road Warriors are hoping Jimmy Alapag's NBA blueprint can help turn potential into a long-awaited breakthrough when the Governor's Cup gets underway. Reporting for the Scorecard, Zeus Valdez, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Alexandra Ann Diaz led a strong start for the Philippines at the World Youth Weightlifting Championships Monday in Cali, Colombia. The 15-year-old niece of Olympic champion Heidelin Diaz swept all 3 gold medals in the women's 48-kilogram division after dominating the snatch, clean, and jerk and total lift. Diaz also set new world youth records in the clean and jerk and total lift to cap a breakthrough performance. The Philippines added another gold through J.R. Colonia in the men's 56-kilogram clean and jerk, while Althea Bacaro contributed a silver and a bronze in the women's 44-kilogram class. The impressive opening day showing gave the Philippines 4 gold medals as the national team continues its build-up toward future Asian Games and Olympic campaigns. History made on the virtual hardcourt. E-Gilas Pilipinas is on top of the world after capturing its first ever eFIBA World Finals Championship. The Filipino squad swept Turkey in the title series, escaping with a 64-62 win in Game 1 before sealing the crown with a 68-60 victory in the second match. E-Gilas was nearly unstoppable in the tournament, losing just once on its way to the world title. Miguel Carlo Jubilar was named Tournament MVP, while Kenneth Gutierrez earned Defensive Player of the Year honors. The Philippines also took home $20,000 in prize money, a historic breakthrough for Philippine esports. E-Gilas Pilipinas, now eFIBA World Champions. LeBron James has once again become the center of NBA free agency talk after reuniting with his former St. Vincent St. Mary High School teammates in Akron, Ohio. The gathering included Cleveland Cavaliers assistant general manager Brandon Weems. The reunion comes as multiple reports continue to identify Cleveland as the team to beat in the race to sign the 4-time NBA MVP. According to reports, several contenders are willing to wait for James's decision. But there is a growing belief around the league that a homecoming to Cleveland is becoming the most likely outcome. The Cavaliers have also kept a low profile since free agency opened, adding to speculation that the franchise is preserving flexibility for a possible move involving James. The Philippine Sports Commission is looking beyond Metro Manila in its bid to produce the country's next generation of champions. From building regional training centers to strengthening grassroots programs, sports leaders believe the Philippines' next Olympians may already be waiting in the provinces. Once again, here's Zeus Valdez with the report.
The Philippine Sports Commission has expanded its Grassroots-to-Gold program, a long-term initiative aimed at discovering and developing the country's next Olympians by expanding sports programs beyond the national capital. During the Cagayan Valley Sports and Youth Summit in Cagayan City, PSC Chairman Patrick Gregorio said the Commission's vision is to build a continuous pathway from youth competitions all the way to the Olympic podium.
Ang gintong medalya, pwedeng batang Pinoy, pwedeng palarong pambansa, aangat sa Southeast Asian Games, aangat sa Asian Games, ang greatness o Olympic medal. Happy athletes, strong nation, from grassroots to gold, from gold to greatness.
As part of that vision, the PSC officially launched the Open Academy of Rowing in Isabela, turning over millions of pesos worth of boats while also announcing plans to establish a regional training center and expand facilities for multiple sports. Gregorio said the commission also wants to position Cauayan as a destination for national and international events through sports tourism.
Sasakay sila ng van, dala ang mga magulang nila, pupunta sila sa Rizal, tapos magpa-practice sila sa Rizal kasi wala silang gymnasium for gymnastics. Anong ginawa ng PSC? Nilagyan ho namin ng gymnastics. World-class training facility ang Dagupan ngayon. Hindi na pumupunta sa Maynila yung mga bata. Dinadala na namin yung coach sa Dagupan.
The initiative has also earned the full support of the local government of Cauayan City, which is working closely with the PSC to develop the city into a regional training hub for indoor ball sports, archery, and rowing. Mayor Cesar D. Jr. said that partnership goes beyond building facilities as it also seeks to develop character, discipline, and future leaders through sports.
Today, we are proud to share that Cauayan City is now in the process to become the regional training center for indoor ball sports, archery, and rowing. This vision reflects our commitment to making the city as a regional training sports excellence.
With new training centers, expanded grassroots programs, and strong partnership between the PSC and local governments, the Commission believes the road to the Olympics no longer begins in the big cities, but in communities across the country. Reporting for the Scorecard, Zeus Valdez, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
England and Norway are through to the FIFA World Cup quarterfinals after delivering two of the tournament's most dramatic victories. The Three Lions outlasted co-host Mexico 3-2 at the Estadio Azteca despite playing with 10 men for more than half an hour. Jude Bellingham scored twice before Harry Kane converted the match-winning penalty to send England into its third straight World Cup quarterfinal. Waiting for England is a Norway side that pulled off one of the biggest shocks of the tournament. Erling Haaland scored twice as the Norwegian stunned five-time champion Brazil 2-1 to reach their first ever World Cup quarterfinal. The victory also ended Brazil's title hopes and extended its World Cup drought to at least 28 years. The loss also sparked emotional scenes for Brazilian star Neymar, who appeared to signal the end of his international career after the match. England and Norway will now face off for a place in the World Cup semifinals, while Brazil heads home facing tough questions and possibly saying goodbye to one of the greatest players in its history. Lloyd Go will look to stay hot when the ICTSI Pradera Verde Championship opens Tuesday at the Arayat course in Pampanga. Fresh off a dominant 12-shot victory at Pinewoods, Go heads into the fourth leg of the Philippine Golf Tour, chasing his second straight title. The Cebuano golfer said his focus is to stick to his game plan and remain patient despite playing the course for the first time. Pradera Verde presents a different challenge from Pinewoods, with its longer layout rewarding power off the tee while still demanding disciplined course management. Go will face a strong field that includes defending champion Angelo Ke, Pinewoods runner-up Jeffren Lumbo, and veterans Tony Lascuna and Clyde Mondilla as the race for another PGT title gets underway. Newly crowned IBF welterweight champion Liam Paro has set his sights on a showdown with Manny Pacquiao following the postponement of the Filipino icon's rematch with Floyd Mayweather. Paro's promoter said Pacquiao is their top target after the Australian captured the IBF title with a unanimous decision win over Lewis Crocker. Pacquiao had been expecting a rematch with Mayweather, but that bout was put on hold amid legal and financial issues surrounding the American's camp. The 47-year-old Filipino remains interested in facing Mayweather, although his camp said it is also exploring other options. A fight against Paro would give Pacquiao another opportunity to challenge for a world title if the Mayweather rematch fails to push through. Joshua Pasio will defend his one strawweight MMA world title on Friday, July 10, when he faces Mansoor Malachev at Lumpini Stadium in Bangkok, Thailand. Pasio beat the Dagestani grappler by unanimous decision in their first meeting in 2023, handing Malachev the first loss of his professional career. The Filipino champion said he has grown as a fighter, but since that bout, adding that he is now more complete physically, mentally, and spiritually. Malachev enters the rematch on a 3-fight winning streak, setting the stage for another tough test for the reigning champion. Pasio said every title defense is an opportunity to represent the Philippines, continue his legacy, and inspire the next generation of Filipino mixed martial artists. Up next, 2 games, 2 losses, plenty of questions. E-Gilas Pilipinas battled through a double overtime thriller against New Zealand before suffering another setback against regional powerhouse Australia in the latest FIBA World Cup qualifying window. What went wrong? What adjustments need to be made? And how can Gilas get its World Cup qualifying campaign back on track? Sports analyst Jay Mercado joins us to break it all down when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. Sports analyst Jay Mercado joins us tonight to break down E-Gilas Pilipinas' challenging FIBA World Cup qualifying window. After a heartbreaking double overtime loss to New Zealand and another tough defeat to Australia, he'll dissect what went wrong, what the team did right, and what Gilas must do to bounce back. Jay, good evening and welcome back to the show.
Good evening, Anton.
Jay, when we were talking about this prior to the games actually happening, we were hoping na at least makaisa tayo. And we almost got that game against New Zealand. Bakit sa tingin mo we came up short in that game despite building a 4-point lead in the second overtime?
Just like what we spoke about the last time, I felt that the key guy would be Justin Brownlee because I thought it would be a breakout game for him, a recovery game for him after scoring only 4 points in the first game held here in Manila. Kaya lang, yun nga, mukhang naipit na naman, na-depensa siya mabuti. And I don't know if Brownlee is suffering something, an injury maybe, or maybe she's tired. But he was definitely out of his element that game. I was looking at his highs, and a lot of people have observed that he was glassy-eyed also most of the time. So parang he didn't know what to do. He didn't even want to hold on to the ball. So that's one. Number 2, we got bogged down because of our turnovers and our costly fouls. And I felt that we had a chance to win everything in regulation and in the first overtime. We just missed out on these opportunities.
Yeah, so in that New Zealand loss, that very heartbreaking defeat, Justin Brownlee was held to just 5 points and only had 3 attempts. And Tim Cohn did say after the Australia game naman, where Justin Brownlee did not play, that Justin did not look fit enough to participate against Australia, and that's why they opted to just sit him out. Now, before we move on to the Australia game, sa New Zealand naman, there were a lot of talking points. They're saying that this was sort of a coming out party for Juan Gomez de Leano, showing that he can represent the Philippines well on the international stage. Jay, what's your assessment of what Juan showed for E-Gilas Pilipinas?
I think Juan has already proven it twice in both games against New Zealand. The first time around, he scored 10 points and was the key player basically to ignite the offense from the bench. No, he scored 10 points there. He was the third top scorer for the team in the first window. In the second window, he scored 23 points, and most of his points were clutch. I've always felt that Juan deserves a slot. I've always felt that Juan probably should be our starting point guard. No, but of course, this is nothing against RJ Barrientos, who's more familiar with Tim Cohn's system, so I understand that part. No, but it's also good to have somebody like Juan Gomez de Leano coming off the bench and giving in quality minutes, producing points right away, and he's not afraid to take the shot. No, and I think that's the key element here, because if you notice in that system that Tim Cohn has, no, there are cases where it will become too Justin Brownlee centric. It just so happened that they couldn't get the ball to Justin Brownlee in in the last Friday, and Juan Gomes Lian had to take over, Kevin Kiambao had to take over, even Dwight Ramos and Carl Tamayo. And it's good to see them, these four guys, so very young guys, not older than 27 years old, taking over the Philippines offense, at least for that particular game.
You know, I was a little bit puzzled that there were a lot of people online talking about who Coach Tim Cone should use as the point guard. Si RJ ba or si Juan? They were saying things like RJ was not producing, but Juan's a scorer, this and that. Your thoughts on that debate that went online between the point guards RJ and Juan? Well, unfortunately, right now, we have lost our connection with Jay Mercado. Hopefully, we will get with Jay in just a bit. But just to add to what I was saying, it was a 23-point performance for Juan Gomez de Leano in that game against New Zealand. Kevin Kiambao also had 23 points as well. But unfortunately, it was not a victory that the Philippines wanted to get against New Zealand in that game. Now, today, it was very tough to watch the Australia game, and it was very tough for E-Gilas Pilipinas to try to get that victory today, especially with the way Australia started off that game with a 12-0 start. And of course, Justin Brownlee was also unable to participate because, as we reported earlier, and what Coach Tim Cone said, he was not fit enough to participate in that game against Australia. We're still trying to get our connection back with our guest, sports analyst Jay Mercado, and he is here with us again. Jay, just to continue our discussion, I already moved on to the Philippines and Australia game. Ano naman ang naging reaction mo doon? I was just telling our viewers na it was very tough to watch that game.
Not a surprise, actually. We also spoke about this the last time around. I don't think that we have a good chance as far as keeping Australia is concerned. I think the only thing that we were looking forward to is trying to keep the score down. Australia is obviously like 3 or 4 times better than us now. I think even their Team C can actually beat us. But not having Kai Soto and QMB there makes it even worse, because if there's one advantage that Australia has against us, it's really their height and their heft. So if you don't have that to match up against them, then we're in trouble. We're good. It's good to see Mike Phillips actually coloring 12 boards earlier, but simply just not enough.
All right, Jay, now let's look forward. The next games, the next window will take place here in the Philippines, August 28 and 30. What changes do you foresee happening when those games happen? And of course, para sa'yo, Jay, how can we improve the Gilas roster? Or sa tingin mo, okay na ba itong collection ng mga players na binuo ni Coach Tim Cone?
I guess the best lineup that we can form, if they will be available, would have Kai Soto and Kentin Villora Brown as our centers. Now, those are the two very important players in our lineup. I probably will still count on Justin Brownlee to play here in Manila, because he's very familiar with the conditions here in Manila. He's familiar with the weather, and he's familiar with the fans. So I think he will still be playing there. I think the key element, however, would be how do we go up against the physicality and the bruisedness of these three Middle Eastern teams: Iran, Jordan, and Syria. Tim Cone has already proven that he can beat Iran and Jordan as indicated, or as what happened in the 2023 Asian Games. So I'm looking forward to them actually winning both games here in Manila when we face them this August.
No, thank God. That's very good to hear that, Jay, you believe that we will get the 2 wins here at home. Now, for my last question for tonight's episode, Jay, there was a very interesting topic online as well. Former PBA Commissioner Attorney Noli Ayala actually tweeted this on X, and he was saying that he hopes that Kai Soto can learn from the likes of Nikola Jokic, who during the NBA offseason is playing for his country. And then other people chimed in. Sabi nila, si SGA naglalaro naman para sa Canada. So, anong comment mo na si Kai Sotto naman, maybe, he should be able to play for E-Gilas Pilipinas? Lalo na, some people are saying that Kai Sotto naglalaro lang sa ligang labas.
Well, we don't know what Kai's condition is, but there is still a month and a half to actually prepare for this. So I think that I'm pretty confident that he can whip himself back to shape. Remember, he got married a few weeks ago. No? So medyo baka hindi pa masyado condition yan. But I'm looking forward to having him there. And tama naman si former Commissioner Lolo Ayala. If superstar players in the NBA, former MVP winners, can actually represent the respective countries, I think Kai would understand also that he being probably the most important, if not the second most important player in the Gilas roster, I think he would know that he should be there. Kahit paano, no? Kasi no matter what you say, with Kai there, I really felt that Kai Sotto being there against New Zealand, we would have won against New Zealand. Remember, the only time when we faced New Zealand with Kai Sotto present, we won that game by 4 points. And Kai burned them with 17 and 12, if I'm not mistaken. So plus 7 assists or 6 dimes. So I mean, that's how important he is to this particular roster for us.
And since that win with Kai Sotto, it has been 4 straight losses against New Zealand. So we really feel the loss of the presence of a guy like Kai Sotto. Jay, thank you so much once again for sharing with us your time and expert analysis on the show.
Thanks, Anton. Apologies for my signal.
No problem. Jay Mercado here with us once again on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Thank you so much. And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow on the Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This is Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening, everybody. Good night.